Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Object 261. It's the Tier 10 Soviet SPG. It's located on the north spawn of Mountain Pass, and this one is under the command of the Bassman from Hell. Yes, he's back in Arty after playing a lot in light tanks. In fact, we've got quite a few of those replays to bring you sometime soon, and we will get around to it. But this is the Object 261, and this is a bit of fun. So let's see how he gets on. And it's based on the IS-7, just like the Object 263, which was designed to be a tank destroyer. This is an open-topped Arty, whereas the 263 was an open-top tank destroyer. This one's got an 18cm gun, and it's a fairly quick reload as well, which makes her fairly good at hitting the enemy. Normal reload's 30.58 seconds. And you can see the Bassman's managed to get it reduced to just 25 point... Is that 98 or 95? I think it's 95. Rounds out. Direct hit! Oh, now he actually hit more than one tank there. He stunned all three of them, I think. And I'm pretty sure that it was the 140 who took the brunt of that one, because he was missing a chunk of his hit points. So that was a really good shot. Okay, he's reloaded. Going for the E4. Rounds out. And he gets 88 of splash off that one. Now, there is an enemy RT in play. It's a GWE100. And he might decide to fire at Bassman, because obviously the most obvious place to play from on this map is from the top of the rise above the cap area and the ramp, and that's where he is. Of course, likewise at the other end of the map, it's the rise that is directly above their cap. It's where the most obvious place for an RT to play. Rounds out, looks good. Another direct hit. Again, you won't see that one for a while. That T100 LT's come up the ramp to the bowl, and the problem is that he is actually threatening Bassman, because if Bassman gets too close to those bushes, there's a fairly good chance that the T100 might see him, and the GWE100 will immediately try to counter battery. So he's just changing position every now and then, not always staying in the same spot. Okay, Object 705A. Down the other end of the map, rounds out, hits the rock. Now it's unfortunate, that one, but I suppose considering he had two direct hits on his other shots, I suppose that's compensation. Oh, actually, that's interesting. I was wondering for a second if one of those tanks was actually carrying a yellow mark from an RT strike, but no, they're all tank rounds that have hit those guys. But just look at that number of tanks there. He's loaded. Oh, that's treble bubble there, because he actually hit 3 tanks, but he stunned so many of them. He's picked up masses of stun assist. He's up to 2,500 stun assist from that shot alone. At least I think it was from that shot alone, but I think he just needs to keep blasting rounds into that area, and his teammates will love him, because he's effectively making it very easy for them to be taken out of the game. I mean, they're even shooting at those guys from up here. The Gorilla 15's aiming his gun down that pass. That Viz 55 wants to come around the corner, but if he does, he's going to get hit. Same is true for the IS-7 behind him. Here we go, rounds out. Direct hit, look at that, it smacked into his engine deck. That close-up shot really worked, didn't it? You could see where the round went in. In fact, his teammates in the E5 really like that as well. I'm not sure if the E5 was actually damaged at all in that one by stun, but I'm not so sure. I think the IS-7 really suffered a major hit. That must have damaged his engine. And he's got another direct hit for 145 this time. And the E5 and the T62A are taking their advantage now. They're ganging up on the IS-7. Although the C62A is being a little more bold than the E5. I think they've got a chance to go around the corner and get him now. I don't think Bassman can shoot in that corner at the moment, but He can hit that AMX-50B other end of the bridge road, trying to stop our 277 coming in. Rounds out. Didn't hit, but it must have splashed the enemy AMX-50 because he was pulling back at the time the shell landed. It looked like they almost coincided, but he didn't get a direct hit on it. At least he's changed position, and our team have killed the IS-7 down at the other end, and they're now flooding through the western pass towards the enemy. Okay, he's trying to get a shot down towards the south to try and assist them again. One of the enemy has actually gone around the corner. It's the tank destroyer. I'm not sure which one it is. It might be the Gorilla. Pretty sure it is the Gorilla. And they've got an AMX-50, an E50M rather, sitting there on that corner. He's got tanks behind him in the bowl. A Centurion Action 10 and a K91. We might be able to force him to leave that position. You can just see him there for a brief moment. He's got the rock to protect him, but Bassman can probably lob the shell over the rock into the E50. And if he does what he's doing at the moment, moves up, he will make himself vulnerable. Oh, it overshot him. It was a good try by Bassman. He was trying to aim long to ensure the shell made it over the rock and didn't hit the rock, but unfortunately the E50 had just pulled back in time to avoid being in the path. And there's somebody in that corner. We know the enemy's there. Normally when that sort of happens, I lob a shell in there to upset them. Okay, we've got a Jaegeru. Now we do have to hit the Jaegeru. And he does get a hit. I suspect that what was knocking down the trees was probably the GWE100. And our team are now converging on that corner, but we've got the Object 705s coming up the ice road, and they've only got a Strivs 103B to stop him. Okay, trying to get a shot. I'd be tempted to go down low, get off the heights where he is right now, and move a bit closer so I can get shots on these guys. Then he can lob shells up. If he was to go down the western pass, he'd be lobbing in from a different angle, and I don't think the enemy would be able to stop him. And the 705A just killed our Striv, which means he can make it to this cap area now. Bassman's going to try and attack the Jaegeru, force him to concede ground. Rounds out. It's going to land behind him, but it stunned him. He's up to 3k of stun so far. But the big worry is that 705A. At least our Object 2684 has recognised that there is a problem, and he's coming back. Bassman's going to put one more shell into the Jaegeru, but if he doesn't move soon, he might miss his opportunity. 28 hit points to splash. And he's got some stun assist off that one, another 500 nearly. I think he's decided not to move because the 705 has been spotted down the bowl. Okay, going back to the Jaegeru. You can do this. You landed one round on him. You can see the mark where you hit him on his front. Oh, he fired just as he pulled back, and again he only gets stun out of it. Now, are any of our teammates stunned? No. So it might be the GWE100 is not hitting them at the moment, but we know he's somewhere in that area. Just can't see the tracer coming through. And there he is, he's moved. He moved. Okay, but Bassman can smack him from this distance. Oh, and before his shell could go in, he's firing into that area. Oh, he hit something! And he just killed the T100 LT. So it was the T100 LT that was nesting in that area, knocking trees down, and he just wiped him out with a blind shot. Fired around into that tree line. Yet there was something in there, and he's now moving. He's getting mobile. He senses the end of the game coming up, and he can't get angles on those enemy tanks from where he is, so he's decided to get a bit closer. And it's all over. It's a victory. is the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game from the Bassman from Hell in the Object 261. He hasn't lost any of his skill. Yep, he may have been playing light tanks for a very long time, but he's still got his Arty abilities. Let's have a look at the rest. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 12 in that one, and at least I think that's 12. My eyesight going. No, it's 13. I was wrong. He's also got a Confederate medal for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. In fact, he only killed the one tank, and that was a blind kill on the T100 LT. He didn't have much in the way of hit points left. He only had 160, but it was very satisfying as well because he managed to work out where the guy was hiding in the corner, and he must have been firing rounds at our teammates and they couldn't see him. But, well, Bassman saw those trees go down, I'm sure of it, and that's why he put a round in there. And of course, he looked at where the trees had fallen to see exactly where he should put the shell. So, win 8 on that one, 2,331, which is very good. Let's have a look at team score and see where he stands. Well, didn't get the highest damage in the game. This was a tier 10 game, and the high scorer was the Object 277, got a high caliber for 6,020 hit points. The second highest damage was the T110E5 that thanked Bassman. He got 4,221. And the third highest damage in the game was that T100 LT. Yeah, he got 4,117. Obviously, he was very effective, actually. It was a good job that Bassman did shut him down when he did, because otherwise he might have scored more hit points along the way. Bassman picked up 2,492, which puts him above all but one of the enemy tanks. So he's actually in 6th place overall, not 5th as it shows here, because there's one player on the enemy team scored more than he did. When it came to kills, though, it's actually shared between 3 tanks. The 277, the T110E5, and the Object 2684 all got 3 kills apiece. 2 kills went to the Centurion Action 10, the Guerrilla 15, and 2 members of the enemy team, their T100 LT and their Object 705A. And 1 kill, well, only went to Bassman, so he's well down the list on that one. But when it came to base XP, he's 3rd. Because the Object 277 managed to get 1,143, the E5 managed to get 1,140, and then we got Bassman with 983, not far behind them, not far, and of course he picked up the Confederate. Bassman fired 17 rounds in that game, which is fairly lucky because you don't get a whole lot of ammo in the Object 261, only 20 rounds in total, so he was actually close to running out of ammo. 7 direct hits on the enemy, 0 penetrations and 23 splash. Yeah, those 18cm shells, they haven't got as much pen. They've only got 45mm of pen. So when you're dealing with tier 10 tanks, it's difficult to get through their armor. And really, you have to be very lucky to get a direct pen on the enemy. I think he overwhelmed the T100 LT with splash, and that's what killed that guy in the end. He earned 2,492 hit points of damage. All of it was done at more than 300 meters. He damaged 10 of the enemy, killed 1. That's why he got the Confederate. 4,008 hit points of stun assist off 23 stuns, and I think that's what gave him the ace tanker in the end. Yes, Arty players are making a lot of credits and getting high caliber wins simply by stunning the enemy. They're just as effective with stun as they were in the past. And I think this is what Klaus failed to recognize in his video. I don't know if you noticed that, but he failed to realize that yes, Arty players are still using stun HE, and it just happens to be that the only people playing Arty really on the whole are good players who happen to know how to get stun out of their HE. He earned 69,561 credits from the game, and after ammunition resupply took away 35,901 credits. He also picked up 7 bonds for a tier 10 game, 1,474 XP, 2,950 for holiday ops, and took away 4,424 experience points altogether. So nice to see the Bassman from Hell back in Arty. It probably won't be the only game he's sending me. I think he's probably sending me more. He's actually on holiday at the moment in the Caribbean, so wish him well and hope he's recovering, because he did have a rather rather not dangerous, I'd say, but he did have a rather big operation recently on his back, and we're hoping that he's recovering in the Caribbean. He's going to be coming back soon to the UK, and then he'll be submitting more replays to us. Hopefully not light tanks, but he does like light tanks now, and I'm sure some of those will be Arty. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.